Hello, everyone. Welcome to Say It with Roz. This is part 3 in my series of voting videos. And what I'm going to talk about today is city officials, elected and appointed. So let's get started. And I will be reading from my notes. At the city level, various elected positions are responsible for governing and managing local affairs. The specific titles and structures can vary by city, but there are some common elected positions found in many cities. So know what know how things operate in the city that you live in. Okay, the mayor, very important position, and he's elected. The chief executive officer of the city, responsible for overseeing the city's administration, implementing policies, and representing the city in various capacities. Mayors can be strong with significant powers or weak with limited powers, depending on the city's charter. So it depends on your city how much power the mayor has. Okay. Another elected officials, the city council members, elected representatives who serve on the city council, responsible for making laws, setting budgets, and addressing local issues. The council may consist of at-large members representing the entire city or district representatives representing specific neighborhoods or districts. So those council members are important. They are elected. City clerk, an elected official responsible for maintaining official city records, managing elections, and overseeing public documents. Very important. Anybody that's managing our elections, that's a very important position. And if you've noticed, these cities, they operate different, they have different rules about elections, in different cities. So know how your city operates. City treasurer, responsible for managing the city's finances, including revenue collection, budgeting, and disbursement of funds. City treasurer, responsible for managing the city's finances, including revenue collection, budgeting, and disbursement of funds. Very important. City auditor, an elected position in some cities, so I guess it can be appointed in some cities, responsible for conducting financial audits and ensuring accountability in city funds. City attorney. In some cities, the city attorney is an elected official. Again, I guess in some cities they can be appointed. Responsible for providing legal advice to the city government and representing the city in legal matters. Municipal judges. In certain cities, judges for municipal courts may be elected to handle cases related to city ordinances and misdemeanors. Again, they can either be elected or appointed, depending on your city. School board members. In some cases, school board members are elected to oversee local school districts and educational policies. Again, they could also be appointed. And by who? Most likely the mayor, sometimes along with the city councilors. So, very important to note to pick the right mayor. Commissioners. In cities with a commission government structure, elected commissioners may serve as both legislative and executive leaders, often overseeing specific departments or functions. Again, you gotta know how your city operates. And you can tell by your voting ballot, who's elected. So do a little research on how your city is run, who's elected, who's appointed. Some cities might elect some officials, some cities might appoint some officials. So know how your city works. These positions enable citizens to participate in local governance and influence decisions that affect their communities. Now that is a mouthful. Voting is very important, people. That is your opportunity to participate in local governance and influence decisions that affect your community. The specific roles and powers of these elected officials can vary widely depending on the city's charter and local laws. So again, understand how your city operates and take part in how it operates when you can by going to that voting booth and picking the right people. Lord, forgive me for getting excited, but when I hear people say they're not voting or their vote doesn't count or it doesn't matter who gets elected, man, it gets me riled up because it's so untrue. Voting is very important. Okay, moving on. Moving along. Officials that are appointed by the mayor, who is the head executive. Just like the head executive in the country is the president. He gets to appoint many people to operate these different organizations that affect all of our lives. The governor has a lot of power to appoint people to oversee that state. The mayor can appoint people as well. A city mayor typically has the authority to appoint various officials and positions to help manage the city's administration and implement policies. The specific powers and appointments can vary based on the city's charter and local laws, but common positions that a mayor may have the authority to appoint include city manager. In cities with a council manager form of government, the mayor may appoint a city manager who is responsible for the day-to-day operations of the city government. That is very important. You gotta pick the right mayor so he can pick the right city manager. Okay. Department heads. Mayors often have the authority to appoint heads of various city departments, such as police chief, fire chief, public works director, parks and recreation director, planning and zoning director, The one I want to focus on is the police chief. People have a lot of complaints about how law enforcement is carried out. You've got to pick the right people that put these law enforcement people in leadership, in office, in these positions. You've got to pick the right mayor so he can pick the right police chief. Voting is important, people. City clerk. In some cities, the mayor may appoint the city clerk, who is responsible for maintaining official records and managing elections. You need to pick the right mayor, especially if he's appointing who's going to be over your elections, okay? City treasurer. The mayor may appoint or recommend the appointment of the city treasurer, who manages the city finances. Very important. City attorney. The mayor may appoint a city attorney to provide legal counsel and represent the city in legal matters. Important role. Advisory boards and commissions. Mayors often appoint members to various advisory boards and commissions that focus on specific issues such as planning, zoning, parks, and community development. Pick the right mayor, people. Public safety officials. In addition to department heads, the mayor may have the authority to appoint individuals to key public safety positions, such as emergency management directors. You certainly want the right people in place when there's an emergency. Economic development officials. The mayor may appoint individuals to positions focused on economic development and community improvement initiatives. That's also very important. All of these positions are important, people. These positions, in many cases, are appointed by the mayor that you elect by going to the voting booth. These appointments allow the mayor to shape the city's administration and policy direction effectively. Exactly. You want the right mayor in there that's going to appoint the right people to lead, to make things happen correctly for everyone. However, the extent of the mayor's appointment powers can differ greatly depending on the city's governance structure and local laws. So understand how your city works, how much power your mayor has. I think in a lot of cases they have a lot of power. In some cities, certain appointments may require confirmation by the city council or other governing body. So you need to just make sure whatever voting power that you have, you need to exercise that. And you need to know who these people are that you are electing to these positions. So that if they have the power to appoint people or to approve people, they need to be the best people that are going to look out for everyone. That's about all I have on the city appointed and elected officials. All very important. All comes back to voting and who you elect to these elected positions. Everyone needs to understand these things. Understand how important voting is. And you can't be nonchalant and wishy-washy about your voting. All of our lives depend on it. That's all I have to say. Over and out.